Good morning. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm April Williams, and this is Daily Dose Live, dynamic direction for a successful life. It's your morning memo of motivation to jumpstart your morning. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a great week so far. It is Wednesday. It is 1 week until Christmas. Can you believe it? I cannot believe how quickly the time has gone, but I hope that you are ready for Christmas this year. It's going to be great. So love and boundaries are not opposites. Love and boundaries are not opposites. They are parallels. Personal boundaries preserve your self-respect, they increase your self-confidence, and they promote healthy relationships. Boundaries allow you to identify the wrong people in your life. Boundaries allow you to identify the wrong people in your life. So this morning I want to give you some key signs that you have not set personal boundaries. These are signs that you have not set personal boundaries. And yesterday I mentioned that if you feel an increase or a buildup of resentments or guilt or anger in a relationship, you need to stop and take a look at that and say, hey, I may need to set some personal boundaries. I may need to establish boundaries so that this resentment and this anger is not building up. But you can't expect people to know your boundaries. People can't read minds, so you have to communicate it. You have to be proactive. But here's some key signs that you have not set personal boundaries. Saying yes when you mean no. Saying yes when you mean no. And what I usually do is I say, let me look at my schedule and I'll get back with you. I actually have a tendency to say no first, but I know there's some people who say yes to everything, and you run around and you're helping a person do all these different things, and you just don't have the time or energy. You cannot commit to all these different things and let it sap your energy, because you need to be focused on what's meaningful and important. So saying yes when you mean no, that's the key sign that you've not set some personal boundaries in a relationship. Feeling guilty when you say no, that's another sign. The third one, acting against your values to please others. And I have talked about that before, that an aspect of integrity is to not have a discrepancy between your values and what you hold in your actions. That's integrity. That's a sense of wholeness. There's a wholeness between your values, your belief, and what you do. And so when you're acting against those values to please somebody else, you're actually losing your integrity. So that's a sign you need to draw some boundaries in a relationship. Not speaking up when you have something to say. Now, sometimes we just need to be quiet. But there are times when you need to speak up. You need to share your needs. You need to share what you need in a relationship. If it's one-sided and the needs of one person is the focus and it's all about one person, if you're in a relationship where the focus is what you can give to that person, that's not the proper focus. That's not a good relationship. You need to be able to share your needs, and I want to encourage you to share it in a positive, not a critical way. All right, allowing distractions or interruptions to accommodate someone who always has an immediate need. So allowing these distractions or interruptions to accommodate someone who always has an immediate need. If you have a friend that's always in a crisis and is constantly distracting or interrupting what you're doing, and you have to stop and accommodate that, you need to draw some boundaries. Accepting physical touch when you're not comfortable with it. Very important in the workplace. You have to communicate that. Giving too much so that others can perceive you as useful. Giving too much so you can be perceived as useful. You should not have to give and give and give so that you feel valuable in a relationship. Giving too much so you can be perceived as useful. Becoming overly involved in someone else's problems. And this is especially pertinent if you don't really know the person that well. A lot of boundaries get crossed where you barely know a person and they want to full-fledged get you involved in all of their problems. That's a warning sign. You need to draw some proper boundaries. Allowing others to say things to you or in front of you that make you uncomfortable. You don't allow someone to make you the butt of his or her jokes. And I've had this happen to me before, and I had to go to that person and say, listen, I don't like that, and you're not going to humiliate me in front of other people. You have to draw a line. It's very important. Allowing someone to say things to you or in front of you that make you uncomfortable, that's just not acceptable. That's not a proper boundary. Good morning, Toby and Joe. Thank you for joining me. So that's a proper boundary you need to draw. Not defining your emotional needs to your closest relationships. You need to do that. Define your emotional needs in your closest relationships. And that's not being selfish. Sometimes we think, well, that's just focusing on me and being selfish. No, it's actually communication. Communication is the key. It's actually the problem in most relationships. You need to define and positively, respectfully, with dignity, communicate those needs in a relationship, because if you're in a meaningful relationship, that other person, whether it's a friendship or a love relationship, whatever, that person cares about what you want or what you need. So to communicate it in a positive way, that's a very important aspect. So boundaries help you define the right or wrong people in your life, and you need to have those proper boundaries drawn. And if all these things that I listed, allowing distractions or interruptions to accommodate someone, giving too much so that others can perceive you useful. Take a look at those things today. And I've been encouraging all week, if there's an area of your life where you feel completely drained, where you just feel emotionally bankrupt, where you feel frustrated, you need to stop and take a look. Hey, are there lines that need to be drawn in this relationship? Because I'm telling you, when you begin to draw the boundaries, you will enrich and you will actually improve that relationship. You will deepen that relationship because you're opening up avenues of communication. It is a valuable tool. Boundaries are vital to healthy relationships, and that is your daily dose. Hey, like and share today with 5 people that you know that need to hear this message. I'm also on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And hey, you need to get my book. Okay, so the other morning, I had this upside down and nobody said anything. I'm just can't believe that. I had it like this, and then I turned it later, but nobody said anything. So I'm just completely astounded that, somebody didn't drop it in the chat. Hey girl, your book's upside down. That'd have been useful to know. But anyway, you need to get this book. This is a great way to start the new year. It gets you focused. It's like your morning memo every single morning. And actually, even the format of it is like a memo. It's short, concise, but it's thought-provoking. It will get you started for the day. Some of the topics include are you a lifelong learner? Includes self-talk. Do you see the greatness of others? Having the proper mindset. Your conversations. It covers disorder in your life. It covers maturity and discovering your difference. This is a vital book. You all and your friends need to have this book in your hand to start 2020 on the right foot. You can get it on Amazon or you can get it on wisdom4beyond.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. And tomorrow I'm going to be continuing. I have one last episode. We're going to cover some issues on boundaries. It's going to be really good. I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. I want to put that in your hand. I don't want to just talk about you need boundaries. I want to give you tools in your toolkit that you can actually establish those boundaries in your life. So important. Thank you for joining me. Hey, I hope you have a great day. I'm April Williams, and that is Daily Dose.